Fussy. Who hired this crew?
What's your favorite scary movie?
I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm big, you're little. I'm right, you're wrong.
Show me the money! Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Baby, you are so money and you don't even know it.
Yeah. I thought this was good.
Oh, boys! I'm back!
This movie didn't premiere on streaming. It found you at 11:47 p.m. on cable. Tonight, we are talking about 1996's movie Crash, and I am joined by my special guest, a sexy car. And let me bring him in here. Welcome in, sexy car. Also, welcome everybody else to today's edition of 52/1996. We are a live movie conversation podcast. We're live because we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. Participation is fun and key, and we enjoy all comments, especially if you've seen this movie before. So, but we rewind the clock. We talk about the films of 1996, one movie at a time. I'm your host, Cody, not Dave Matthews. And this week I'm joined by Sexy Car himself, Steven, as we break down the movie Crash. If this is your first time hanging out, please continue to hang out with us. Welcome to the party. Thanks for joining. This is a weird one to join in on. Not going to lie. This is a weird one to come in. But the idea is pretty simple. Every week, 452 weeks a year, we revisit a different movie released in the year 1996. It's the 30th anniversary. We're talking legacy. We're talking vibes, performances, trivia, and whether the movie still holds up to this day. And did I say it was January? Did I say that somewhere? I'm sorry if I did. And this season it's February today, and we're kicking things off with a new theme. We did kids movies last month, and then I did a big hard pivot. Usually we do like romantic movies for the month of February. And after doing this for 3 years, I was like, let's change it up. I saw a theme this month. And I said, let's make it a sexy theme. Let's get real sexy with it. And the theme of this month is I'll Have What She's Having, spotlighting 1996 movies about sex and the complications and ideas around that. So that's what we're doing this time. We've already got a lot of comments in the comments section or the chat here, starting off. And I do welcome all comments. So because this is an interesting movie, and I've already been talking to my guest about this a little bit during the week. I even warned him before I said this. So let's talk to Steven about this. Steven, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to be here for Sexy Month.
You are the sexiest person I know, so that's why I was like, I got to get him here to do this.
Watch it with your fiance in here.
We're talking about the movie Crash. Now, this is not 2004's or 2004, I think. This is not 2004 or 5's Crash.
Not Ludicrous Crash.
This is not the Ludicrous Crash. This is not Brendan Fraser or Sandra Bullock or Michael Pena. This is a different Crash, and I assume this is your first time watching this movie.
Oh yeah, I like the other Crash better. I think this is one of the more disturbing movies I've ever seen.
Which is kind of not like, we'll get into it, I'm sure, when I go through some of my notes about it. You're right. You're not wrong. I'm not going to dispute anything. Anything that happens, and this is for anybody. If somebody were to come in after watching this movie and tell me this is the worst movie they've ever seen in their entire life, not going to fight you on it because I can see it. If you came in here and told me this is the best movie you've ever seen in your entire life, or like 5 stars or somewhere around there, I want to have a conversation with you. And I think that, I want to dig into why this is. This was actually my first time seeing this movie too.
First time seeing it. Yeah. First time knowing it existed. Only known the other Crash, the ludicrous Don Cheadle Crash. Right? Is Don Cheadle in the other Crash?
Sure. I have no.
There's
I
a,
can't
there's
even
a lot
remember.
of people in
A
there.
lot of people in that other Crash movie.
Yeah. So I didn't even know. Not a huge James Spader fan. I think a lot of people like him a lot more than I do, personally.
I think Alyssa's with you on this because when I was talking to her about this, she's like not a big James Spader person, and I was like, I love James. Like, I like James Spader. I don't know if I
What
love.
do you like him in?
I like James. So James Spader was a big deal in, what is it, Pretty in Pink? I always get this wrong. I think
My
it's Pretty.
parents like him for Blacklisted.
Yes, Blacklist is what a lot of people
Blacklist.
know him from now. Yeah, James Spader is actually a John Hughes kid. He was in Pretty in Pink. He was the bad guy in Pretty in Pink. Stargate.
You love Stargate.
We watched Stargate. The Office. I am a fan of him from The Office.
Mm.
That, even though that was like during that weird time when people were like, "Oh, Michael Scott's not there anymore. The show sucks." And I really liked Robert California. I thought he did a really good job. Sex, Lies, and Videotape is another good one. He's always done kind of like out there movies to me. He always pops up in weird things. After kind of this run of movies in the 90s and stuff, he goes to do Boston Legal. I think that's one of his like shows that he did before The Blacklist. So doing network television, and people love him because of that show. And he's kind of always been like the same. He's James Spader. Like, he is this guy, like kind of cold and always seen as kind of like cold and heartless and calculated. And he's the Lizard King. Yeah. So that's what I know him from.
Okay.
And again, James Spader is kind of like the movie Crash. If you told me that you hate James Spader, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I don't know that. I liked Robert California. Obviously, I think I was sad like everybody else, but I think he did pretty good as Robert California. I'll always remember him getting naked and jumping in the pool at the party, and Ryan and Gabe like dancing while he falls asleep at the end of the night. So that, that was reminiscent in this movie of just seeing him. I don't know. I think we did Natural Born Killers together, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we did Basketball Diaries.
We've done some pretty messed up movies.
So to me, it was reminiscent. Speaking of being reminiscent, it reminded me of something that, like, you just wouldn't want the wrong person to see.
No.
Right? Because it would, instead of the reaction that I had to it, that this was like the worst, weirdest porn I've ever seen. That some people would be like, this is my shit. I love this.
That's honestly, like, I don't know. You always do a lot of like research whenever you look into these movies and stuff. If you go to any Reddit thread, if you type in like Crash 96 reaction, the Reddit threads out, the subreddits are like very split on this. Like, people will die for this. I know I saw tons
Letterboxd.
of people are like, this is the best movie. This is the best Cronenberg movie ever made too.
That's what, to me, and I know I'm learning more and more that some movies are supposed to make you feel uncomfortable or disturbed or a little disgusted at times, and that is the intent. And I didn't get that with this. It just felt like a bunch of stuff chopped together. The criteria that I usually go with when I'm rating movies, acting and performances, writing and dialogue, cinematography and editing, music and sound, and overall impact. I would say the highest score would probably be overall impact, because I was suffered through it.
Yeah.
Just from the opening scene of the movie, was unhappy about that, and confused and grossed out and kind of disgusted by certain things. So yeah, lots of feelings. I would say there's like at least one moment though that I was like, okay, this is kind of a movie for a second. The car wash scene, kind of coming a movie there for a moment. But yeah, lots to talk about.
I want to point out before we move forward, I kind of like New Model Smarmy's comment there. He's where Kevin Spacey's fans have landed. I like that. I can see them being very similar, like vibes in their movies. Like if you replace Kevin Spacey in American Beauty with James Spader, are we still talking about American Beauty to this day? Probably not, because there's the whole like pedophilia thing in there. But yeah, that's a good point. All right, so if you haven't seen it, it is a tough watch. I did warn everybody last week. I tried to, put out a lot of stuff there. If you do have seen it and you did have a chance to watch it, do feel free whenever we're talking about these categories, speak up. Even if you have an opinion, I'd love to hear it. So let's just learn a little bit more before we get into those categories for discussion. So again, the name of this movie is Crash. It actually has an interesting thing. I chose this as a 96 movie, but it did not come out in the United States until 1997. So in Canada, it was released in October. It was supposed to be ready for the 96, Oscar season and all that going into 97. But Ted Turner, who owned Turner Broadcasting, CNN, all those things, hated this movie so much, and he had the distribution rights to it. He tried to bury it as much as possible because it just, again, very vile reaction to this movie. And it did not make it to the U.S. until 1997, in March of 97 there. So this movie was directed by David Cronenberg. You've probably seen some Cronenberg movies and didn't know that you'd seen some Cronenberg movies. I have watched a few. I haven't watched his whole filmography. He wrote and directed this movie. I like some of his movies that are pretty twisted movies still. The Brood is one of my favorites, and Dead Ringers is one of my favorites. And then there have been movies of his where I'm like, I don't get it, and I think this is dumb. And people praise it like it is the second coming of something, amazing. It's, but this is based on the novel Crash by J.G. Ballard. The cast.
Before we leave Cronenberg, have you seen either The History of Violence or Eastern Promises? Either one?
I have actually only seen Eastern Promises.
Is that the one with the long naked fight scene?
Yes, the shower fight scene.
Okay,
which is pretty intense and it's a good solid movie.
Honestly, I think I've seen The History of Violence as well, and those are the only two I've seen by him. And that long naked shower fight scene, this movie kind of reminded me of that, where it just felt a long scene for what it was. But let's get into it. So
let's keep going. J.G. Ballard is a GOAT tier writer. Okay. I know he has a few other books out there that I saw in my research that, especially on Reddit, that like some people there were just screaming his name from the top of the rooftop. So this movie has a pretty small cast, honestly. It's very contained for what it is. James Spader, who we've talked about a little bit, as James Ballard, based on the author of the book. Holly Hunter plays Dr. Helen Remington. Elias Koteas, you probably know Elias Koteas best because he is Casey Jones from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies, playing Dr. Robert Vaughn, or just Vaughn. Deborah Kara Unger as Catherine Ballard. Rosanna Arquette as Gabrielle. And Peter McNeil as Colin Seagrave. The synopsis for this movie is Crash is about the strange lure of the auto collision. Provoking as it does the human fascination with death and the tendency to eroticize danger, most motorists will slow down to stare at a scene of a collision. They may feel their pulses quickening and become aware of the fragility of their own bodies. The characters of Crash carry this awareness a step further, cherishing and nurturing it. For them, a car collision is a sexual turn-on and a jolting life force they come to crave. Now, this movie had a budget of $8 million and a box office return of $23 million. So it did 3 times as much as it was put into it. Very split movie. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 65%. IMDb is 6.4. Letterboxd is a lot higher than the other ones. So 3.7 out of 5 there. Roger Ebert liked this movie quite a bit. And I like his review of this movie. He said it's like a porno movie made by a computer. It downloads gigabytes of information about sex. It discovers our love affair with cars, and it combines them in a mistaken algorithm. The result is challenging, courageous, and original, a dissection of the mechanics of pornography. I admired it, although I cannot say I liked it. It goes on a bit too long. Afterward, I found myself wishing a major director would lavish this kind of love and attention on a movie about my fetishes, which is a weird thing to add on for Roger Ebert. He's a bit of a freak. Desson Howe, who comes up here often as a counterpoint review, says, Crash doesn't extend beyond its most immediate sensationalism. When the movie does attempt to find a theme, it slams into a brick wall of mumbo jumbo. Now, a little bit of a legacy at this. This one also has an interesting, it played at the Cannes Film Festival. It won the special jury prize. Francis Ford Coppola was on that panel and hated this movie so much, and he did not show up to hand the special jury prize to David Cronenberg because of that, and pretty much was the reason why it didn't win the Palme d'Or. Or even be considered for the Palme d'Or, which is the Cannes Film Festival's like top prize. And then again, I said the thing about Ted Turner at the top of the show where he refused to release it when it was intended to come out. So that is Crash in a nutshell. All right. So I know you told me earlier that you might not have as many notes as I do. What movies, or so instead of saying best scenes, what scenes really pop out, define the movie for you?
So I'm not gonna lie to you. I tried to call you this morning because I wanted to warn you, and I didn't want you to be blindsided or disrespected. But usually my method with preparing for the stream is to give it an earnest watch, and then go back through and take notes. And I struggled so much through this movie that I then decided that it would not be good for my brain to go back through and to take notes. I probably should have taken notes my first time through. My apologies.
Oh, you're fine.
But
I told you didn't even have to do it.
I spent so much time. I mean, well, I want to be, like, I feel like if I could just say it out loud that other people would have been a better guest for this than I. Like, I feel like Ryan and Joseph would have been, like, I don't know, more open-minded, and they're both into more, like, I don't know, artsy type stuff, I think. But for me, I just had such a high level of disgust with it from the very beginning. I guess that if I had to recall a first scene, it'd be like the cinematography and editing masterpiece that is like transitioning from ass eating here to ass eating there. That masterpiece that took place.
I do think that kind of gives us it's a great tone starter for this movie. It's it's exactly what I had. Like, I don't have it written like that. I just said the opening scenes with James and Catherine, who we don't know at this point who this person is or this person is when we get into it. We just know that they're both having sex in interesting spots. Catherine is having sex in a airplane hangar. She's, whipping out her breast and pushing it against the plane, like the metal there. And it almost seems like at the beginning of this, she's not even interested. We don't even see the other partner in this. We don't see their face. We don't see anything. There is a level there of anonymity to that. And so that gives us a little bit of information about who this character is. And then the next scene we see is James and He's, doing whatever he's doing in the back room there. Yeah, no lines are spoken. Exactly what Chad is saying here. 3 nips in a butt before the first line is spoken in this movie.
I feel like we even get a little Bush.
We get everything in here. Yeah. They set it up pretty quickly for us. And then like the thing that you get after that is these two characters meeting up. You kind of learn that they're married to each other in this scene. And a very important thing to take away from this is that that they're in an open relationship from the beginning, because they both tell each other about their experiences that they had in those 2 scenes. And they both ask them, they're like, did you, get off? And they said, no, neither one of them did. And the line that is important here is maybe next time. So this is something they do often.
Like they're rubbing the nipple on the plane was like, she was just trying to see if it worked, or if it's like is that a known fetish as well, as rubbing your body? Like it wasn't a crashed plane.
Yeah, I think it was
for sure.
Well, we know that, like, we learn at some point in the movie again. Okay, for everybody, I tried explaining this to Alyssa the other day, and I was like, "There's no plot in this movie at all. There is no
That's one thing I wanted to ask you. So she didn't watch it.
No.
Okay, because it was hilarious in my head to think about you guys watching it together.
No, I basically said, not for you. This one's not for you.
Yeah.
No, and there's no plot really. Like a typical plot for this movie. We do learn that why she's at the airplane hangar. She's taking flying lessons, which is, again, not the most important thing, but that's why she's there. Okay. And I think she has a fascination. Like, I think that gives you a little bit of hint into what she is kind of desiring later in the movie. It's a very dangerous. We have this fascination with these vehicles, that, airplanes, cars in this. And I think that has to do with her, like, getting sensation from touching the plane.
Interesting.
Yeah. So nice intro there. We also find out that James is a film writer or producer or cinematographer.
Really that out, do they?
No, the only thing we see,
he's got a chair.
He's got a chair, and the only thing we see is him going through like storyboards, which is like the next thing that I have, which is him getting in the wreck.
Yeah.
He's going through like storyboards on it, so he might be a director, he might be a producer, cinematographer. I think somewhere in my research, I did find out what he did, but again, not important. These are not important details.
Well, like I said, I feel like up to the accident, the important part is establishing that these two, James and
Catherine,
have an open relationship. They're just like, they're experimenting outside of their relationship, but actually seem to care about each other too.
Yes, I was just talking about. I was like, they have a love for each other.
Yeah.
And a mutual respect for each other, and are all about this experiencing this open relationship and everything. So initially you have an interesting movie to start with. I think it starts out like this, and you're like, okay, where are we going from here? And then
if they were going to make a sexy version of Nitro Circus, though, the lead actor would be Travis Pastrana. Travis Pastrami.
Pastrami.
Yeah.
I've got a great idea about a pastrami only restaurant. I'll talk.
We need to get in touch with those guys and see if somebody's reached out about making a porno version of Nitro Circus.
I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it's out there. He's looking at, James is going down the road. He's looking at these storyboards, and then he crosses the median and goes into head on into oncoming traffic and wrecks. And when he wrecks head on, a body flies out of the car that he hit and lands in his car. And he seems stunned, but not like, he kind of seems dead inside from the beginning.
Yeah.
Like,
nothing's doing it for him anymore,
No. And he sees this dead body here. He sees the imprint of his car, like his hood ornament on the guy's hand. He looks into the other car, and then you see Holly Hunter, who aggressively takes off her seatbelt and then reveals her breast. So within 10 minutes, you have seen a total of 4 nips in this movie. But how is the body? Yes, okay. This is another good thing. This goes along with how there is no plot or realism in this movie. How is he not in jail? Like he has to have manslaughter charges. Yeah, that's never discussed. This guy doesn't face any consequences for anything that he's in. That is not a part of it at all. I immediately thought of these things too whenever we were going through this. It's crazy, but and even from the naked eye, I don't know if you thought this too, but like. They don't look that hurt. This doesn't look like that bad of a car crash for either James Spader's character or Holly Hunter's character. They look kind of unfazed. The other guy's completely dead.
So dead.
And the next thing we do is we see them in the hospital, waking up in the hospital. And James Spader's leg is all messed up. He's in... yes, we're making some pretty astute comments here. That's the only thing I could think is she didn't press charges and cops don't care, and he's white. But James Spader wakes up in the hospital. He's got pins and everything all in his leg.
Too much of that, like Robert Ebert was saying, maybe it goes on a little too long. I think we could have cut out some of the pinned leg shots. I'm sure the makeup people and the people who do that kind of thing worked hard on it, but there was too much of that for me.
Yeah, that is a Cronenberg thing. So like even outside, like Eastern Promises doesn't do it that much, or I don't know about History of Violence, but like a couple of his movies don't really have stuff like this, but some of his other movies, a lot of body horror stuff going on. And that leads to a point in this movie that we'll talk about. But he's got his leg all in a cast and everything. And Holly Hunter's also there, and it seems like she's pissed off at him because they meet in the hallway. And then we get introduced to Vaughn, who is like studying James Spader's leg too closely. And we know he's a weirdo at this point too, but we don't get much information. We don't get a lot of information about anything.
There's very little dialogue.
Very little dialogue. And Roger Ebert's right. It does seem like it goes on a little bit too long. This movie's only an hour and 39 minutes. It does feel like it's a long movie.
A slog.
It was a slog. Hey, oh, man, you ruined one of my pairings. Chad? That's all I could think of was Cars the entire time I was watching this. I was like, man, they could make a really slutty Cars movie out of Crash.
Yeah.
So after all this unfolds, Helen and James end up meeting up at the impound, but it wasn't really an impound.
The impound under the bridge.
The impound under the bridge. And Helen doesn't seem that mad at James for killing her husband. In fact, she seems a little like okay with it. And
seems a little flirty.
Yeah, it's a little flirty. And he doesn't know why there's like this connection here. And he's like, hey, I can drop you off anywhere. That's the least I can do. She's like, take me to the airport. And then he takes her to the airport and they have sex in the car in the parking garage. And we're like, what is going on here? Because you just killed her husband and she's cool with it. And they kind of start this like affair together. But is it really an affair if you're in an open marriage?
And you got one person who's in an open marriage and the other person who their spouse is dead.
That's the most open you can be in a marriage, I think.
The openest.
That's the most open. Well, and we see this is where I think we're not even too full crazy yet. And then I think once we get to the next scene with the car crash reenactments, like the performance art piece of this with Vaughn and the
I was so confused by that. Do you think people really do that?
No, I do not. That's
Complete
insane.
fiction.
So yeah, they end up at this. There's there's bleachers for this thing. And we see that Vaughn character again. He's emceeing this event where they're going to reenact the James Dean crash that killed James Dean. And you think, oh, this is like some historical thing, and like this is just an interesting history. No, they really crash these two cars into one another. No roll bars, no cages, no safety, no helmets, none of this stuff. They just do it for the fun of it, the excitement, the enjoyment, the celebrity of it, the spectacle of it all. So yeah, they just crash these, and then the Department of Transportation. Not the cops.
Yeah, not the cops.
Not the cops. The Department of Transportation comes in and busts up this little teenage party that they have going on there. And then we learn a little bit more about Vaughn and his little cult of car crash sex fiends is the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
We meet a couple new friends. Obviously, we meet like the new whatever his name is. Colin Seagrave, the stunt driver. They go to his house where Vaughn works out of. We meet Gabrielle, who has been in a car crash that we learn about, and she's disabled. She has braces on her legs, and they're all
she's got the Forrest Gump.
She's got the Forrest Gump legs going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just meet these people.
Which it's funny how she plays the same character in Pulp Fiction. Just like the girl at the house.
Yeah, I don't think Rosanna Arquette, like when I saw Rosanna Arquette, I mistakenly thought it was Patricia Arquette in this. And I was like, oh, hey, Patricia Arquette's in this movie. And I was like, oh, it's Rosanna Arquette. I was a little disappointed. So we get that. And then any thoughts on those? In this section, like I'm skipping over some stuff because I have some like WTF stuff that goes in the middle of this. I mean, this whole movie's a WTF. So.
Yeah, this whole movie's a big WTFer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No comment. So rewind for just a second. Are you saying the girl who's Gabrielle is Patricia Arquette's sister?
Yes. That's David Arquette's. I think Rosanna Arquette and David Arquette and Patricia Arquette are all brother and sister.
Huh.
They're at least related. Yeah, at least related. We learn Vaughn lives in his car, of course. Vaughn also drives the same Lincoln that John F. Kennedy, not the exact same one, the same model that John F. Kennedy was shot in, which is kind of a car crash itself. And he said that, and I said, that doesn't make any sense. It wasn't I mean, I get it. Yeah. He was like, that was kind of a car crash, wasn't it? I was like, and he was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, for the country, I guess it was kind of a car crash.
That's true.
I'll
take that.
I'll take that one. I skip over a lot. And then we get to the Jane Mansfield wreck that they pass by with it's James and Catherine and Vaughn in this car, and they pass by this wreck and they're taking pictures of it and they're going by it real slow.
Just pull right up.
Just taking pictures and getting real in there. And you can tell Vaughn is like upset, but still like mesmerized. He's upset because Colin did the car crash without him and died in this car crash, and, you know, did all of it with him. He has the fake bra on with the fake boobs in it and everything. And he's really into that. And then we go to the car wash scene because that is James notices that there's blood on his car, which has to do with with Vaughn probably running over the prostitute that he got earlier in this movie that's what I'm throwing together. Did you think that?
I did too. Like, it was so like things would just change.
Yeah.
Moods would just change really fast. That's what I assumed.
Which would made it a more interesting movie.
Yeah.
If they connected any kind of storyline, it might have made it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, they just kind of gloss over everything because, again, I don't think of this movie as like a narrative movie. I think of this as some kind of like art piece about sex and addiction and pornography and our fetishes and cars and all. Yeah, I that's the only way I can think about this movie because there is no real plot. But then we get to that car wash scene where Vaughn is in the back seat with Catherine, and the top of the car goes up. And as it's going up, Catherine and Vaughn start getting it on in the back seat, a little rough.
Very rough.
But everything, and I was like, every ounce of sex in this movie is consensual. Everything is consensual in this movie.
That's the one that doesn't feel that way. I feel like even the vibe I got from that was that like she was realizing that she had gone too far with her seeking out, because she was crying when they were having sex after, or like trying to. That was, why is he so gray?
Gray.
I feel like Casey Jones.
Yeah.
He's Bond. Especially during that scene in the car wash. Before, before I didn't really notice it, but as soon as he was like grabbing her face and her neck, his skin was so gray. It just was almost distracting. He almost had like zombie skin.
It's probably because he's only drinking like motor oil.
Yeah,
that's all. Like,
there was a lot of grossness. Like
I just feel like this guy wants to be a car. Like he is obsessed with crashes so much that he is just like full on accepting the embodiment of a car. So this guy drinks gasoline, and he puts motor oil on his cereal, and like that's gotta be it. No, I'm explaining something that I didn't catch, but why not? Right? Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Sounds like something somebody crazy would do. So yeah, we have that car wash scene, that STP diet. That's a good one. And then like the last thing that I have is Vaughn's death, where he is chasing down Catherine in his car, Catherine and James in their car, and then goes off in a blaze of glory off of an overpass into a bus, and kind of finally gets his glory there. So I disagree slightly. I think there's a non-consensual element that's just accepted, like the nature of crashes themselves. I agree with that too, but I also think that there is a fetish out there for non-consensual consent that I think that Catherine is also into. A little, like, especially the way that she is talking, like when her and James earlier in the movie are having sex, and she is, talking to him about Vaughn and his scars, and about James inevitably, like her thinking about James and Vaughn having sex with one another. Like, I think there is an element there. Like, she wants this guy, and he's rough around the edges, and she wants to experience that. That's all. Like, every time I think that's what it, like, they're just upping the ante. Like, I want to experience danger. I want to experience the next thing. Like, and I think that's what we get to with the end scene of this, is when James does crash Catherine and she wrecks, and he gets down there and he's like, "Are you okay, baby?" And she's like upset that she is okay. She says, I'm okay. And he kind of realizes like she's not like too happy in that moment. And he says, maybe next time, which ties us back to the beginning of the movie, whenever they're talking about getting off with the other partners. I think she has been like thrilled with his experience of getting in a car crash and experiencing this new high that they can get to. And
it's car accident.
Yeah. And I remember in Roger Ebert's review, him talking about this, he's like, this is not a real thing. So you can't, like, people aren't into this as, you know, I'm sure there are people out there now that are into this, but like less than 0.0003% of the people in the world are into this kind of thing. Like, this isn't a real thing, essentially.
I'm glad you said that out loud, because I think that was part of the disturbedness of it for me, was like, I think because of my field of work, thinking like, oh, this is a thing I just haven't heard about.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm glad you said that out loud, even though that may be a given for most people.
now there is given a name for this, which I'll go over later, but this does not exist.
Good.
Yeah, this is not a thing. Is there a character in this movie that has any like that you liked, or is there scene stealers for you that you were watching this just from your memory? I'm not going to press too hard on those.
No, I thought everybody was pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess James Spader is arguably.
I mean, he's our main guy.
Yeah, and he I feel like most of the things, the actions he takes are the most understandable, whereas I feel like every other character does something that I can't understand.
And I think, again, I don't want you to feel like you have made an inappropriate response to this movie, because I feel like you're making a very appropriate response to this movie. I don't think I would be, like I said when we were texting, you asked me what if I love this movie. I said I'd be interested to like figure out why.
Yeah.
So
it is interesting when you go, I watched this and I did what I normally do, went to Letterboxd, and like there's not one person, like in the first three, all the reviews I looked at, not a single person being like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is awful.
I didn't even rate it.
I really thought we had hit rock bottom with Showgirls on like what I would watch for the stream. But I will be surprised if anything ever tops this as, like writing and dialogue, acting and performance. And when I just think back through the movie, there's just very little redeemability.
Mm-hmm.
Very few redeemable qualities throughout. And so I'm like you, man. I think I would be really interested if somebody really liked it, just because I think objectively, just like the acting's bad.
Yeah.
Objectively, like
it's you know how like Wes Anderson tells his actors that like, everybody in a Wes Anderson film is very like reading their lines. I was about to say it's a long month.
I'm looking forward to Striptease after this.
Striptease is basically a comedy after this.
I love Striptease after this. And let me answer the question. I love Junior. Junior was fantastic compared to this movie.
I honestly think that this movie is better than Being Human, as I've done this all 4 years. Being Human is still the worst movie I think I've seen, front to back. Like, I can find at least interesting things about this movie that I don't quite understand and not fully love this movie, but I can't find that with Being Human. Like, I thought that was the most boring waste of time I've ever had, and would never recommend that for anybody. And instead I put your sister through hell watching that movie. And I put you through hell watching this movie. Cause like even Showgirls has interesting qualities about it. Like, there are scenes in that movie where I can look back and be like, that was funny, or that was that was something. This is probably like, it's low. I'll say that. Not like the worst movie I've ever seen, but
I talked to Joseph before he watched it, and I was like, I was interested. I was like, try to watch it like it's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Like maybe in that light, it could be a little more bearable if it was, because to me, I just didn't know nothing made me laugh. I don't think.
No,
But
there's
I think
nothing
if
funny.
I would have gone into it and somebody would have said this is supposed to be funny.
I think the one time that I laughed, no, I laughed a couple times. The legacy. So we'll get there. Oh my God. No, the a couple times I laughed is when they're watching the crash test video. When they're there, I thought that was funny on a on a dark comedy kind of aspect of like her getting excited and then like getting like super built up and like she's like edging to this car crash video and then it stops because of the VCR just sucking and she's like on the edge and like gonna explode and like pissed off and then they get it working and she like calms down and then everybody's just touching each other and she's gooning at this point. It's wild.
Oh,
No, the legacy.
What a room full of people. You know?
Oh my gosh,
Like,
these are people that like. I can think of so many more rooms of people I could sit in with than these people. A couple quotes I just want to put out. The maybe next time I think is a very important piece of this. If you want to get anything from this, it is that they're always chasing that high, and then at the end of the movie, bringing it back with the maybe next time, darling, maybe next time. And then when they're giving each other those medical tattoos. Or getting those medical tattoos, which I thought was a really interesting thing. It's not a medical tattoo. It's a prophetic tattoo. Prophecy is ragged and dirty, so make it ragged and dirty. I feel like that line thinks like, I don't know if that is I don't know. I don't love that line as much as the internet loved that line. Mm-hmm. I think people thought it was like smarter than it was intended. It's intended to be. And I didn't like it as much. I don't know. Other laughing moments is when they're talking about the James Mansfield wreck and Colin says, I want really big tits out to here. So the audience could see him get all cut up and crushed on the dashboard. That was the big one. Okay, let's just get to the Legusi. So let's just skip to the WTF moments of this. Because again, the whole thing is that
what's your biggest, like if you had to say
the biggest is the sex with the scar. Okay.
To me, I think the biggest what the fuck moment is I was getting pretty excited about seeing Vaughn's deformed penis, and
you never got shown it. We don't see any penis in this movie.
No dick at all. It was a
little surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought for sure we were gonna. To me, that's the Cronenberg move that he like missed out on the opportunity for. There's a lot of we get to see a lot of that Legusi. So like, why not give us a quick shot of old Vaughn's deformed penis? I think that's especially during the gay scene.
Yeah,
like you really get a great opportunity to hit us with a deformed penis if you're gonna do it. You know, like if you're gonna make it as gross as possible, then show me that thing.
When Vaughn and James hook up, I think it's interesting too. And the way that they use, obviously, like cars ramming into one another is like a visualization, like of sex. Like this is, and like James like runs off. He doesn't find satisfaction in that moment, and like goes off into the car, and like he's getting rammed.
Starts ramming him another way.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But the sex with the wound. Yes, the gay sex scene was the tamest sex scene. It was kind of lame. You're right.
I think that's why we need the deformed penis in that moment.
We need it.
It really takes it home.
And then he could have taken that home to Catherine and told her all about it, and then they could have had their little weird sex thing going on after he had sex with Vaughn.
I mean, I do think that they hit all the porno highlights. You know, like guy on guy, girl on girl, guy on girl, two girls and a guy, two guys and a girl,
and a pizza place.
I mean, they ran the gamut there. So,
but yes, I do think the thing that like people will remember if you watch this, the thing that people will remember the most, and I think I had to go back and rewind and figure out what was going on. Not too much, but like, James ends up having sex with Gabrielle. and she's in her leg brace, and so her legs don't bend or anything. And he rips open her fishnets and then has sex with her. She has a wound on the back of her leg that is like healed over and stitched, but it's very gross looking and very vulva-esque. I just said
Do
vulva
you
on
think
a
he
stream.
had sex with that?
Oh yeah, that's 100% what he did.
I did not. I thought he was still having sex the normal way. Oh
No.
my God, that really takes it home.
That's why I had to rewind it, is because I wasn't sure what I just saw, and I was like making sure.
Wow.
Yeah. Blows your mind now. Now you're like, this is an A+ movie. 5 stars.
Yeah, that changes everything.
I already talked about the crash test tape. Catherine and James's sex life is interesting. Did you like this? How'd you feel about the score? You're a music guy. How'd you feel about
Oh,
it?
it was terrible. It was like a huge portion of it sounded like an out of tune guitar.
And that
but
was-
so, like, you know, if that's what they were, my biggest problem, and I tried to go to other places and find to see if it was the same thing, just like other streaming options, and the sound was so loud. All the car wreck stuff and the racing cars and the dialogue
It was
was
so quiet.
what is as quiet as possible.
I had to.
So I think somebody did a really bad job there because it was that way on all 3 platforms I found. And then as far as the score goes, there was a lot of music that was standout bad.
See, I like, this is one of the things that I actually liked about this movie,
Yeah.
was the score. And I like the out of tune guitar thing.
Mm.
Like that. Yeah. There was that really stuck with me. I maybe because it was the loudest part of the whole movie.
There was a movie we watched together where I described the music where they were walking down into a red room.
Mhm.
It reminded it was very uncomfortable. Like, I think if that
Was that
the
7?
goal of it.
When we were watching 7, was that?
Maybe.
Where like descending into hell is what we were supposed to
Yeah.
like.
That I was like, man, that music gave me like the willies a little bit.
I might
This
do this.
did the same way.
So because the dialogue was so quiet and everything else was so loud, I actually hooked my Bluetooth headphones up to the TV, and that's how I
Ooh.
watched it on my couch with inner ear monitors on, and watched it like that. And I don't know, maybe that's why I like the score more, is because it was just right there. But I like there's something about that like out of tune guitar. I'm glad you said out of tune guitar because I couldn't explain it. That's perfect.
Yeah.
I liked that part of it. I don't know why. And then like it changed at the end whenever, because that's what it is for an hour and 38 minutes of this movie, is that guitar part of the score. And then when Catherine and James are having sex after her car wreck in that median or whatever, it changes to like a more symphonic, like we've got like violins and stuff. And I was like,
that was the only other gun that was like maybe the last piece was more of my taste, but yeah, definitely struggled with it.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Well, you can't do Sex Month without F, Marry, Kill. So if we're gonna do, I had 2, but I like this one better. James's car, Vaughn's car, or Catherine's car. Which one would you F? Which one would you marry? And which one would you kill or not kill? Okay.
I think
It is. It's Howard Shore. He did this. He did the Lord of the Rings.
no way.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I honestly, I maybe didn't pay attention to it as much as I should have.
Again, do not beat yourself up about this movie, because I don't like. That is the point of again, like that is what I want to get out of this. Is like, we're not going to get the same thing from this. We're not like, the things that are in the movie are going to take you out of the movie to where you don't like the score, or it makes you hate the score so much.
Yeah.
Like, and the only thing I loved about this movie was those little moments in the score, because of it made me feel uneasy.
Yeah.
And this whole movie made me feel uneasy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Crash with the Lord of the Rings score. You just have you get him fighting the Balrog in the Mines of Moria, and you get that out-of-tune guitar. Fly, you fools! I think it would be great. Smash or pass? How would we do smash or pass? Let me know. But anyway, back to F, Marry, Kill. Out of those 3 cars, which one would you F? Which one would you marry?
James's car, I think, the most. So I'd probably marry that one. I've always hated like a fucking Miata.
Yeah. See, okay, I'm with you.
Miata. I feel like they're just.
I think Vaughn's is an F. Like that is just an F car.
And hope you don't, and like maybe
you'll catch something in that car, but that's an F car.
Yeah, double wrap it, because that's a dangerous F. But yeah, I think I F that one. Marry James's car and kill the fucking Miata looking thing.
I'm glad you went that way. I think that's exactly how I would go. We do know that Vaughn smells.
But we also know that different semen smells different. So
that's true. That's true. What somebody mentioned that they're like dirty talk that they were doing here, and I think that adds to kind of what Roger Ebert was saying about like think about that, like if AI got a hold of a porno and found out like the world's love of cars and like put them together, that's why she says like penis, anus, like she says all the like the non-sexiest terms for these things. So like. It's not supposed to be a sexy movie. And if you're a 13, 14-year-old that found this movie late night on Cinemax or whatever, like you might be super disappointed.
I feel like that was very prophetic of Robert Ebert to see, because the more I think about that and the more I agree, it's like it seems like a movie ChatGPT made. If you were like, make me a softcore porn where people get addicted to, being involved in car accidents.
Yeah. I think I think he's very prophetic around that. I did a recast for this movie. And I think Alexander Skarsgård could be the James Spader character.
Okay.
Dakota Johnson could do the Catherine character. Carey Mulligan as Helen, the Holly Hunter character. I said either Lee Pace or Ben Foster as Vaughn. They got to be like could be grungy enough, like to be those. And Ben Foster gives me those vibes. And 3:10 to Yuma, he's the bad guy in that.
And these are all 496, right?
Oh, these are these are 2026. I couldn't recast this movie in 96.
Yeah, I could see Bruce Willis doing Vaughn.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I was like James. No, Vaughn. You're right. Vaughn definitely. Yeah. Or Woody Harrelson.
Ooh,
good. Woody. Like Woody in Indecent Proposal when Demi Moore's all grabbing on his Johnson and everything. Yeah.
And just because you mentioned it earlier, like I think Spacey could have done this one.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he could have played James Spader's character.
Just dead behind the eyes. That's really what you need to be, just dead behind the eyes.
Just go from 7 to this.
Yeah. Riley Keough could be Gabrielle. I was like, we have a Roseanne Arquette out there. Maybe 96 though for that Gabrielle character. What's that girl from, again, going back to Natural Born Killers, Juliette Lewis.
Oh yeah.
She would be a good Gabrielle in this.
For sure.
I'm going to go ahead and move on to fun facts,
okay.
even though some of them aren't that fun. James Spader didn't need any convincing to do this film, although he was curious about the rest of the cast. He said, "After all, I get to F everybody in this movie, don't I?" And David Cronenberg knew he had the right lead then. James Spader, he's the Lizard King, man.
The Lizard King.
Do you want the sex? Do you want the sex story or the animal story? Or
Both.
the office? The Office. He's like, I want Jim's like the animal one, definitely. He's like, Jim, when two animals are having sex, no, this isn't gonna work. The name of this is symphorophilia, coined by sexologist John Money. It is a paraphilia involving sexual arousal from staging and watching disasters such as traffic collisions. So symphorophilia. Symphorophilia. That's what it is. Symphorophilia. There we go. Thank you, chat. According to J.G. Ballard, the writer of this movie, he says to die in a car crash is a very unique 20th century finale, which is true. Now it's 21st century, but the only way you could die in a car crash was within the last 100 years. So it's interesting. Let's see. This was actually ranked by Martin Scorsese's list of the best films of the 90s, number 8. Yeah, I thought I'd blow your mind there.
What the fuck? This is the kind of movie that makes me think like I don't understand.
Oh, again, I get it.
Like I'm some basic bitch that doesn't understand movies because, yeah.
I don't think
number 8 of the 90s.
Yeah,
name fucking 10 movies off the top of my head that are 10 times
better than that. Yeah,
90s.
The pile-up scene was inspired by a Jean-Luc Godard film, Weekend, which I have seen. That would be a good pairing for this movie, honestly. And then the sex scene I thought this was interesting. They always take these notes whenever they're doing screenings of these movies, like when do people walk out of the movie, what do people do in this movie. The scene where James and Vaughn have sex is the scene where most people walk out, which tells you something. I like that too. This hits harder in the 90s and less so in a post-internet 2020. I get on
for sure.
Yeah, I think that's so true. But yeah,
10 out of 10 originality. I think that's where things get into a blurry area for me. It's like, is it creative or original to just write some fucked up shit?
Yeah.
Like am I going to get on Martin Scorsese's list if I just like come up with this fucking crazy people are getting aroused by smashing their toes? Like, I don't know, man. It was too. I think there's danger to stuff like this.
Yeah.
I feel that I can't help but feel probably the way like a parent does when they don't want their kid playing like Call of Duty or GTA.
Mm-hmm.
It's like my brain was like, don't put this in here.
Yeah.
Don't put this in here. So to that point, I would agree. You'll never, I don't think, as far as I'm aware, there's nothing else like this. There's not another movie like this. So
yeah.
There's an argument for 10 out of 10 originality.
I get what you're saying though about like this makes like hearing all these people going to Letterboxd, seeing all these reviews from people makes me feel like I missed something or I didn't get something. And like one of the things that I did right before I watched this, I watched Siskel and Ebert disagree with each other about this movie. And Siskel's like, no, I got it. I just think it's a bad movie. And Roger Ebert's like,
the point of it is that I think this could be done well.
Yeah. But I get the exact same feeling, and I have had I've had feelings about that with some of Cronenberg's other movies. Like I said, there are movies of his that I love, and if I showed them to somebody else, they would be like, "What the what did you just show me?
Yeah.
Like, I think that with Dead Ringers, which is about two identical twin gynecologists that have like obsessions with old gynecological toys and sex and all these things. And I love that movie. I watched Naked Lunch, which is another Cronenberg movie and an adaptation of a book. It was considered to be unfilmable. People love that movie. I watched that movie within the last few years. I didn't get it. And like, I feel dumb for not having got it or not like appreciating it or seeing like why is everybody so in love with this movie? And that's how I feel like you feel about Crash. I'm so indifferent about this movie that I couldn't even rate it. I was just like, I don't know what to do with what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're giving points for there's not originality, I've never seen anything like this, and you're giving points for on top of that for like the boldness of a movie like this that is venturing into something that most people don't even want to talk about in any light. I think there are people out there who are going to get points for those things. Whereas to me, this movie reminded me a bit of Y Tu Mamá También, where it was like, I think that there's a lot of men who just like are in on this joke about like that y'all just like to jack off to this movie, and so you say it's good. And I've missed the joke because like I wasn't around people making that joke because they feel gross to me. They feel like they bring me to a place where like they make me have inner conflict where I feel like I want people to make art and I want people to express themselves. And I don't want to put boundaries on that, but giving a main stage to certain things, I think is dangerous. And there should be boundaries too. And like getting aroused by car accidents I didn't know it was going to be presented so serious. And like, man, I think maybe there is something, it is so disturbing and so uncomfortable. It's so awful that I guess I kind of get it. I think that people like knowing that other people think that.
Yeah.
They love praising a movie because they know how it made people feel.
I think you, after we get off here, I think you go find that YouTube video of Siskel and Ebert. And I want you to listen to Siskel because I think you and him have the exact same view on this movie. And and Gene Siskel, Siskel and Ebert. I mean, this is the guy that does this for a living. Like, I think these are again very appropriate. I do not think there's a middle ground in this movie. The traffic is way worse after this movie. Is there any movie that you would pair with this movie? I mean, if you would.
Maybe just watch the other Crash just so you forget about it.
Ooh, a Crash night? I like that.
Yeah, because
we'll have a Crash night.
It hurts my heart. And again, it's another thing like we're talking about where it's like, okay, I guess I just don't understand movies. That this movie is rated a 3.7 on Letterboxd, and the other Crash that we're talking about is a 3.0. Like, I don't know if there's just a joke about it or something, but I'm not in on the joke. I don't want to really be in on it. Yeah. But maybe then also like Fast and the Furious.
Okay, I like that. Strange Days is one that we watched last year that was also kind of a tough watch for people. I love the comment. All I know is that Geico is listening and our premiums are all going up is very funny. A couple movies that I would suggest if you're watching this, we can watch if you're into watching James Spader get his freak on in like a weird way. the movie Secretary with Maggie Gyllenhaal, which is talking about a Dom sub relationship, another freaky movie, Sexy Freaky with James Spader is in that. The Piano Teacher is a Michael Haneke film, a German film that has to deal with this woman in her experience with sex and power over those that she is, sometimes it's the students that she's teaching. Cars was always my other one. Sharp Corner. I don't know what that is. What's
the movie we always talk about when we're sticking the pictures on the wall?
Oh, Happiness, the Todd Solondz movie. Happiness. Pairing. That's a good pairing. And then a movie came out a few years ago. I think it's a French movie. I think it actually won the Palme d'Or. It might have won the Special Jury Prize, called Titané. And it has a scene where a woman has sex with a car and then has a car baby. I wish I was.
See, that's the kind of movie I want to see.
And then, of course, Titané, yeah, that's it's interesting. That one has to deal with there's some trans stuff in there too. The car baby happens at the end, and it's pretty great. And then Cars, I think Cars goes really well with this movie.
So Sharp Corner is a 2024 thriller. A man who becomes obsessed with saving car accident victims at the corner near his home. So there's Joseph was telling me about this movie where this guy lives in front of a sharp corner and somebody has an accident and then they die in his arms. Mm-hmm. And then he gets obsessed with getting people to have accidents and trying to save them.
I like that. And it's got a guy that could be a James Spader character, could be the Vaughn character, Ben Foster.
Yeah, who is that?
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
He's a freak, man. He's a freak.
I feel like he was incredible in U-571.
Is he in U-571? Man, I haven't seen U-571.
One of those submarine movies Ben Foster was in, I swear.
I believe it. He would have been the right age for that, young in that movie. Titané is the one that I think goes the best. Titané and Secretary are really good. 310 remake. I'd love. Yeah, it's great. I know the answer to this. Oh, Mulholland Drive. That's another good one to pair with this.
Oh, yeah.
Mulholland Drive, another movie that is very divisive. People either tell you that's the best movie ever made, and then other people are like, what did I just watch? And then it's got a lot. It's got sex in it. It's got Hollywood. It's got a woman creature living behind a dumpster. It's weird. And there's a blue box. It's wild. That's a wild movie. That's a good one to pair with this. I know the answer to this. On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to throw this on again?
0.
Not even on the scale. I gave it a 1. But do you think you would rewatch this movie if somebody was like, I love this movie, let me talk about it with you?
That is the
only way.
I'll give it a 0.5 for that.
Yeah. On this 1 to 5 overall rating for you?
I tried not to say this earlier, but back to my scale, when it comes to writing and dialogue, just awful. Hard to give any points. It
was very robotic.
Huh?
It's very robotic.
Very
they aren't
robotic.
Real people.
Hard cuts. So I think the cinematography and editing gets 1 point for just some of those kind of car crash chases. Maybe even 2 points. It might be the hardest, the most successful thing about the movie, in my opinion. I think the sound that was so bad, as far as it's basically, long story short, it would get a 6 or 7. It would be my lowest rated movie of every movie that I've watched since I started rating movies. So it's gotta be a 1 star. I don't think I'm going as low as 0. I hope to not feel that way about anything. I hope that this sets a new bar for one of the worst movies that I've ever seen. just because if the intention was for it to make me feel the way I do after watching it, I don't like it. It makes me feel like I saw something I wasn't supposed to.
I like that. I mean,
So
I don't like that
that's-
for you, but I like that phrase.
Yeah, and which I'm fine with. Because I know it was a movie, and honestly, you saying this is all just made up and not really a real thing. But you said it wasn't a real thing, and then you named it.
Yeah, but I think I think they came to like they gave it a name.
It would explain why all these assholes drive so crazy around me.
Now, just think that they're really into it. Just be
They're
like,
trying to
oh, that
get me
guy's trying to have
crash so
sex
they
with
can
me.
Bang me.
Yeah, that guy just wants to have sex with me.
Dang.
And maybe you have some empathy then when somebody cuts you off. You're like, oh,
It's like
they just really want to
crash into me and bang me on the side of the road.
I love that. I think I was like, what do I give this? I didn't give it a rating on Letterboxd. I don't really know what to give it. I, have went from a 3 to a 2.5 to a 2. I think I'm hovering in that because I kind of said, I was like, I get what it's trying to do. I just don't know if it succeeded in the way that it was supposed to. I got it. Like, I get it,
The only thing that I've ever really, it made me think of like something that Chuck Palahniuk,
yeah.
Something he might write.
Yeah,
kind of in this vein, and to build off of that, I think that this could be done in a kind of a fun,
like
dark humor, but also serious. Like, I think it could be done really well.
I like what you're saying there. Like you saying that made me think of the book and the movie Choke, which are both kind of darkly funny movies. I actually like that movie addiction. A lot. Yeah, that's about sex addiction and goes through some heavy stuff in that movie and like cults and stuff like.
That's why I wasn't, when you asked me whether I wanted to do Sex Month or Comedy Month. This is one of the first. Like, I pulled this movie up, I looked at the synopsis, and I was like, "How bad could it be?"
Yeah, this is one that I have been wanting to see for years. Because of the plot, like that I've always seen, like people get in the car wrecks and then they have sex because they like it. And I was like, what is this movie going to be? Is it going to blow my mind? And I was a little sad that it didn't blow my mind. So
I have another pairing.
Oh,
F1.
Yeah. F2. There's like 4 Fs in this movie.
Yeah.
I like that. Survivor. Yeah, that's a good one. By Palahniuk. Yes, that's a good one.
This seemed like, to me, this touched on I like his writing. I could see him writing something like this. But this execution of it, and then you didn't show me the deformed dick.
Basically, that's what it comes down to. So. Well, Stephen, thank you so much for watching this movie. I am sorry. I did try and apologize. After I watched it, I was like, oh no.
It is fun to get to blame you.
Yeah, thank you. So
it's not like I didn't choose to watch it on my own. So I can always be like, man, what the fuck, Cody? What you got?
I tried to give you an out. With the I was like, comedy? We're gonna it's like Kingpin. Well, thank you again for it's probably Quasimodo down there, his dick. Thank you for doing this with me. I appreciate it. We'll see you again next week. I think they get gradually easier to watch as we go through the month.
I'm really hoping. I would be surprised if anything sunk lower than this for me.
Yeah,
I hate to be such a negative Nancy. I always look, the same thing happens with music. I hear things like one of my all-time, like Nirvana and Metallica, more recently like The National, bands that are getting worldwide acclaim from all types of sources. Turnstile right now, where it's like, it makes me think I don't know music because I can find the good even in the darkest of places like Taylor Swift. And I feel like I've missed something, like I don't get something when so I've gotten the same thing. Been trying to like Turnstile so hard
Yeah, I've seen it. People are pushing it on their stories
for
and
years,
stuff a lot.
man. They've had several big albums now, and it's like I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to get one movie recommendation from you. What is something that you've watched recently that you'd like to praise or tell people to go out and watch? What is
I've
it?
watched a lot, but I'll save some for next week. I'm sure I'll watch some more. But man, one of the movies I love is Train Dreams.
Yes.
Man, it reminded me of After Sun. If I was going to pair that movie with something else, I would pair Train Dreams and After Sun, because two of the top of the list, where it feels like every shot was thought through for days.
That is a beautiful movie.
Man.
Train Dreams was beautiful.
And it's so clean. I was able to recommend it to my parents.
And very little dialogue. Like, you know, comparing to what we just watched, like something that has very little dialogue, but you get so much from it. Like, I do think that he got snubbed.
Yes, big time.
I do think that's a big snub.
Yeah, but I've watched a lot recently that I really liked. That's one of the standouts of everything I've watched. Way better than One Battle After Another.
Read the book. It's short. Yeah.
I'll say it.
You're not alone.
Train Dreams was it belongs where it is, nominated for Best Picture, and I hope it wins something along the way, because I thought it was excellent.
Well, if you want to keep that conversation, I don't know if I recommended Sorry Baby a few weeks back, but Train Dreams I love. It is up there with one of my favorite movies of last year. And I'm glad it's nominated. Sorry Baby is the one that I think is sad that it didn't get nominated. A very tough movie, but a very, like, all my emotions are in that movie. We've talked about that. You and I have definitely talked about that. Like, makes me feel everything: sadness, anger. I've laughed out loud several times. Like, I felt like caring during that. Like, so many emotions.
The doctor scene after the essay is so funny.
So funny, and it's such a serious thing.
It's so heavy.
Happened. Yeah.
Man, yeah. Like I liked Sorry Baby's the kind of movie that I watched it and I was like, I thought I was gonna feel more from this. But as the days have gone on and I've thought about it, I've thought maybe I need to go back and raise my score, because to me, that's the one that I will go back and change a lot, is overall or emotional impact, because if I end up thinking about it for days after, that's got to get some credit, you know.
That movie made me laugh and cry, and Train Dreams, it didn't make me laugh, but I mean, definitely got me. I think that movie is beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to keep any conversations going about the movies you're watching or the movies that are coming out, join our Discord server. There, we've had a lot of stuff in there. This past week, some people seeing some Oscar movies like Marty Supreme, talking about that. Some other movies that came out this week. You can also follow us on Instagram. Check out my Letterboxd. See what I've been watching lately. See any of the reviews that I've been giving some of the movies. I watched 32 movies in the month of January, so I'm one over ahead of schedule. That was a mistake. I don't know how I did it, but I did it. Next week, we're continuing our theme, though, of I'll have what she's having. Steven's going to join me again. Again, we're deviating from our typical rom-com romance movie month of February, and we're doing another movie that I've been wanting to see for years. Have not seen it, so this one's new to me as well. It's called Bound, and it's like a lesbian psychosexual thriller. I think there's crime involved in there. This is done by the Wachowskis, the same people that did the Matrix and some other movies along the way, but most famously The Matrix. So I'm really excited to watch that one. I think I posted some links in our Discord where you can watch that. So check that out whenever you can. We'll be live next Monday, I can't do it next Sunday. So next Monday, we'll figure out that time. It'll be in the Instagram for you guys, just to have a little post Super Bowl clarity I like. So thanks so much.
Matrix, sign me up.
Yeah. Sexy Matrix. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time on 52/1996. Be nice to women.
We spun the reel through desert storms and courtroom cries. Love letters burned, planes went down, truth hid behind the lies. From snowbound crimes in Fargo streets to agents running wires, we laughed with Gilmore, screamed in masks, lit theaters on fire. It's 52/1996, let the credits roll tonight. Good movies, bad movies, all of them in the same rewind. 1 year, 1 week, every frame gets its time to shine. We'll see you next story on 52/1996.